Okay, welcome everybody to the call. We're going to talk about USAePay and their EMV solution. So the agenda is we're going to go over just a general EMV overview. We'll go through the MP200 device, which is the chosen peripheral for EMV. We have some online resources to share with you. We'll go through our marketing materials as well as our sales collateral, including the USAePay addendum, and coming soon we'll have a terminal placement program. Okay, so Bridget, if you want to go ahead and take over and start talking about EMV and the enhancement over at USAePay.
Okay, great. And so I do want to thank everyone for joining today. You know, as far as the resources go, I myself or anyone here in the channel sales department are a good source for information. As far as EMV goes, we're finally made it there. We've certified to TSYS, First Data in Nashville, as First Data Nashville as well as global. So with each processing platform, I'm not too sure exactly which, or I should say if you connect to all three. We are working on a couple of other platforms right now, which consist of and also WorldPay, which would be an additional one in the near future. So at the moment we have the MP200 that would connect, and we support the MP200 both through an integrated software, through our virtual terminal, as well as our USAePay mobile app. The mobile app is accessible through an Android and iOS devices. Before, if you all recall, we did support the PaySaver Jack, which did connect through the aux port of both devices. That was standard MSR. There were some restrictions with some Android devices that no longer is a factor with this MP200. It connects via Bluetooth with the iOS and Android devices, so there are no requirements for an Android unit with this device. So as far as the Castles unit, there are certain providers that I believe your group may have relationships with. So as far as ordering them, they are not purchased through us. They will be purchased through your distributor. That would either be POS Portal, the Phoenix Group, or CDE Inc. It is important to know that with an MP200, there are certain keys that are needed for this device to work. Again, we work with the integrated software, so of course it would require, and of course when I say integrated software, this is more so like a third-party point-of-sale solution. Of course, it's a retail solution, so it would require that software to write to our payment engine, which is the API that is used to connect this hardware, this unit, to our gateway solution that connects to your processing. So that's one portion of things that is kind of out of our control, your control. It's really more so on the hands of that point of sale solution. But we do have the necessary documentation needed to connect this MP200 to a third-party point of sale solution. It's just a matter of, again, their developers basically integrating it to our payment engine solution, which is that API I'm referring to. So I was also discussing the what is being needed inside the MP200. There is going to be our USAePay encryption key. There's going to be our payment engine software, which is switched to, and the processor bank key. So it is important to know that with your distributor, there will be certain processor keys that need to be injected according to what processing platform you've set up your merchant on. So these devices will ultimately be interchangeable between merchant accounts. Say you have a merchant that no longer needs it but was set up on, say, for example, PSYS. You later want to maybe reuse the unit with a different merchant on PSYS. It will work for them even though their gateway or processing information is different. So it's not tied to an MID. It's more so as long as the processor key is exactly the same, it will work. These units you can share between MIDs. So say you have a merchant with maybe 3 stations, 3 desktops, and they're using our virtual terminal to process payments. They can use this one MP200 and share it in between those 3 stations. So not every desktop will require its own MP200 unless they want to do it that way. When connecting to a desktop, our virtual terminal, it will connect via Wi-Fi. That's the only way it will connect. There is a USB port to this device, but it does not connect via USB. It is simply there to charge the unit. Battery life depends on usage. It also depends on, well, it's basically just usage. But I would say as far as time-wise and how long, it averages anywhere from 5 to 8 hours.
Bridget, can you talk a little bit about the connectivity if a merchant is using the device with a virtual terminal versus the mobile app?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So in both scenarios, the unit would need to be in semi-close range. I'm sure we're all familiar with Bluetooth products. And so as far as that goes, it would need to be semi or relatively close. When connecting via Bluetooth, can only connect to one device at one time. So it's only interchangeable or able to be used between accounts when using the virtual terminal. That share option is not available through Bluetooth. And should that change, I will be sure to advise Melanie where she can then advise everyone of any changes. We are looking to always improve our solution, so we're always making slight improvements after we hear feedback. So it's important for you guys to let us know if you feel that certain things could work better for your merchants. It's something that we created, obviously, so we're able to adjust accordingly if we feel that it would meet the need of multiple merchants. So feedback is greatly appreciated when it comes to it, of course. And as far as, let's see, I'm trying to recall other important information that you would need to know in regards to this unit. Can anyone else think of any questions or maybe something you would prefer that I highlight or talk about?
We do have a question in regards to the Verosa integration. Can merchants use this as an EMV option with USAePay and Verosa?
So it could be, definitely could be. Again, because that is a third-party solution, it is something that it would be up to Verosa to implement. We've shared the documentation needed to them. It just, it all depends on the projects they may have, already pending. But I can only assume that if there were multiple, partners requesting for the solution, it would only speed up whatever integration process they have currently. But definitely it could be a viable solution for a QuickBooks integration or hardware for QuickBooks. Someone asked if the MP200 has an electrical plug in it. I'm wondering if you mean if you're able to charge it maybe through an electrical outlet. If that's the case, yes, you are. So basically, what it is a a USB port, but you can we have those docks that you can just plug into and put it on an outlet, and it will charge just like it would on a computer. So charging was definitely supported that way as well. Melanie, could you remind me again what the processing platforms your group connects to? Out of the three,
Primarily
he says
global.
global. Okay. So this more so won't be a concern for new setups because we there's a certain processing platform certification number or version, I should say, that we are current with global right now, and it's 2.1. So it's good to know that we have a new console. It supports both EMV on the console, and our latest app also supports EMV, of course. So if a merchant needs an EMV solution and they're brand new to your group, of course, set them up on console 2. With global, we've certified to version 2.1. So that's what we are entering for new setups on behalf of our partners who are setting up on, say, global. But because for existing merchants already on USAePay that were previously on console 1, or I should say currently on console 1, and wish to process EMV, their only solution with console 1 is through our mobile app. And if they're processing with global, you must go in there into their accounts and add 2.1 to the version for that account. Without that version, even if they have the latest app, it will not allow them to process EMV. So you must ensure that the 2.1 version on existing accounts for global is there in order for it to work via mobile app. So in regards to, someone had a question of, will this replace the EMV pin pad we are using now? I don't know that it would replace it. The EMV pin pad you're using now, maybe it's through a different gateway solution. The only pin pad or EMV solution we have at the very moment is either the Ingenico ICMP with global or the MP200. So you could think of this as more so a secondary solution, and that's if you weren't already referring to the Ingenico ICMP, because that is in fact a current supported solution as well. However, our MP200 will be our go-to unit. So if you're currently selling the Ingenico ICMP, I would say to maybe start moving towards this MP200, because our focus is on this MP200. So if there are issues, I would say they will be easier for us to address, or I should say quicker for us to address. But will we support the Ingenico ICMP? Yes. That is in fact a secondary solution for merchants on global. And your primary should, I would say, kind of try to migrate to this MP200. If I'm not mistaken, I heard that it is less expensive than the Ingenico with my partners. And all around, it's just going to be our focus. So, it again would be, I would say, a better solution in the long run for your merchant.
Bridget, we do have another question. Can the MP200 process offline if Wi-Fi is down?
No. So we ultimately still do not support offline transactions, even with the MP200. So someone asked, are we getting another type of terminal? To answer that question, so the unit that she previously showed is basically what I guess you can consider the terminal. It will connect to our solution either through a third-party integrated software like Deja Vu, like POS Lavu, like or just to name a few. Of course, with all the three that I just mentioned, as my examples, it's up to them to integrate their software to our MP200 unit. So that we've finished the code necessary for them to use to make sure their software can talk to our MP200 that talks to us, that talks to you. But there's a missing piece there. If they don't do it, then it won't work. So, you know, I think Revel is, you know, in talks of supporting this unit. I'm not too sure how complicated of a process it may be. I mean, of course, you will have those, you know, those providers that are willing to spend the time to develop an integration between what we support. But I would assume it, just like ourselves, you know, it all depends on the demand. So I would say relay this to any third-party provider that you have or are interested in continuing to work with. To, you know, and whatever, if they have questions, we have an integration support department here. You can have them addressed through Melanie, through us, when we can get all those questions answered, any of those technical questions anyway. So someone asked, who would be a target merchant here? So this would be anybody that's retail-based, anybody that's looking for a mobile solution. Of course, with EMV, you know, it supports this MP200, it supports contactless, MSR, and the depth for EMV with this one unit. So ideally, whoever you're selling standard MSR to, and who is also now concerned for EMV because of, you know, say possible chargebacks, this is going to be your main target. Of course, online or e-commerce merchants, it's not for them. It won't be for them. And it won't necessarily be for your Moto merchants. This will be strictly for your retail-based merchants. And someone asked what the cost would be for this unit. I don't necessarily know the cost because it is determined by the relationship you have with the distributor, which whether it be POS Portal, Phoenix Group, or CDE Inc. With CDE, I do know that they're currently having a special for this month till the end of this month for $115
So Bridget,
a unit.
the pricing on the device, our sales partners pay $150, and that's on the marketing materials and within the deck later.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, so that is your distributor. And I just wanted to mention this. I know it's possible for you as a group to have multiple relationships. CDE Inc. currently has a promotion for $115 that includes all necessary keys. So that's something that maybe you can decide to, if you need to in the future, to establish a relationship maybe with other partners. But that's the current promotion. That's the only cost I know of. But you can, let's see.
One thing I think it's important for us to go through, Bridget, is the different scenarios. So I know a lot of times when we have these EMV discussions and we talk about gateways and EMV, it always kind of moves into the POS integration conversation. But one point I wanted to make completely clear is that from a mobile standpoint, EMV is ready. There's no integration necessary. So the steps on a mobile setup would be, you know, you sign up the merchant with the gateway, with the mobile application. The merchant downloads the app. When they receive their hardware, the MP200, they pair it with the device. They process the point of sale on the phone. The transaction information is sent to the MP200, and the customer enters their card into the MP200, and it processes as an EMV transaction. And it's set up. There's no integration necessary. It's very easy. From a virtual terminal standpoint, we don't have many virtual terminal merchants that utilize it in a retail capacity. However, if it is a virtual terminal merchant, obviously they would utilize the VT, and they would pair the device. And you said it's Bluetooth only, right, Bridget?
Well, it connects. It will connect Wi-Fi when connecting to the virtual terminal only,
Okay.
and
So there
then
would be
with the
no,
mobile.
right, there would be no integration with that either. It's just
No.
simply set up the VT, you connect
Mm-hmm.
the MP200, and you're ready to go. Then there's this third scenario where a lot of times we'll hear about merchants who have proprietary software, and that's not EMV ready. And the
Yeah.
merchant wants to upgrade the merchant or the developer, and sometimes in the industry it's called an ISV. They want to upgrade their software, their proprietary software, to be EMV. And USAePay provides a fantastic platform for that. They have their payment engine, they have all of their documentation available online, they have a support staff that can help with the integration. And so literally in a matter of days, a POS ISV can go from non-EMV to EMV readiness. So that's not really what we're here to talk about today. We're more here to talk about, you know, EMV as it is associated with a mobile transaction or a virtual terminal transaction.
Okay. Sounds good. Does anyone have any other questions before
Yes,
my other
I have a
statements here
couple
regarding?
here. Do we have a demo account for USAePay mobile app that we can download? Bridget, I believe the mobile application, can sales partners download that and get set up as with a demo account?
Correct. Yes, that is accessible to anyone that needs it. I can create one, you know, a general one for all members, and I would just assign separate usernames for everyone. It is something that you could use in a demo scenario, so you could ultimately connect your MP200 to this test account and simulate a test transaction if, you know, you have the MP200 unit. And it is free of cost, of course, for this test account. However, if there are any existing ones out there, I would like for you to maybe share your username, maybe at a later time with Melanie, perhaps, and see if I would like to check the account, just because, as I mentioned, with certain processing platforms, there's a certain version that we've certified to, so I would need to ensure that that version number is selected in order for it to work with your test account.
Okay, so if any of our sales partners have would like a demo account, please send your request to product@evoplatinumservices.com, and I will go ahead and be the liaison with Bridget Davis over at USAePay to get you guys set up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, do we have any more questions on how EMV works, or on the device itself, or any sort of technical questions for Bridget? Just give folks a couple of minutes to ask any remaining technical questions.
Sure. I think someone asked, how about PIN debit? So PIN debit, you can say now it's more so chip and signature. If you're concerned about PIN debit, unfortunately, we do not support it with Global. That's something that we would support with pieces only at the moment. But in an EMV scenario with Global, you're looking at chip and signature.
Okay. Let's start going over quickly the marketing material that's has been posted in the product kit as of today. We do have 2 marketing slicks available. We have just a general EMV slick that goes over how the MP200 pairs with both the mobile app and the VT. If you'd like to go ahead and send that to your merchants, feel free to download that slick from the product kit. The product kit, I'm sure as you know, is located in the library on Epic. As well as we do have a MP200 marketing slick that goes over just the device itself and the benefits of utilizing that device with in a mobile and a virtual terminal capacity. From an addendum perspective, what we'll need to do is for mobile merchants, again, that's when merchants are going to process via either a tablet or a phone, either through iOS or Android. Remember that sales partners need to sign merchants up for the gateway as well as mobile license fees for each device, and then you'll have to purchase the reader. So a lot of times we get paperwork just for the mobile license, but remember that you also need to purchase the gateway as well. For virtual terminal merchants, obviously you'll just need the gateway and the reader. And the last item I wanted to go over today was the terminal placement program. In the next couple of weeks or so, we are just waiting for some billing information to come through on the EVO side, but once we have that, we'll send out an announcement to all sales partners letting everyone know that the MP200 could be an option on the terminal placement program, which means that for a low monthly fee, merchants can get 1 or 2 MP200 devices. Your buy rate for one is $7.50 a month, and then again you'll have to include a 35-cent batch fee and $25 monthly minimum. And for 2 MP200 devices, your buy rate is $15 a month, and again the 35-cent batch fee and the $25 monthly minimum would take place on those as well. As with all of our terminal placement programs, you can choose to bill the merchant for the monthly fees. Anything that, any revenue that's collected, so if you price it above your buy rate, you'd collect commission. So that's not something I think everybody knows, that the terminal placement program, the fees in the terminal placement program are commissionable. And then there's also the choice to bill the sales partner, so you can bill yourself instead of the merchant. And if anybody has any pre-sales questions, you can direct them to product at EVO Platinum Services, and then post-sales, so if you're submitting an addendum for new MIDs, you would submit the USAePay addendum with the merchant application to EPSG applications, and then for existing merchants, obviously just the addendum needs to be sent to tech support. Okay. So I'll give folks just a couple more minutes to send in any remaining questions. We have a nice audience today. I appreciate everyone's time on today's call. It's great to see such a big audience on the call. We all waited for EMV for such a long time, and happy to say that USAePay has been a very reliable option for our merchants.
That's really good to hear. I too am very thankful for everyone joining, and I was just thinking the same, a very good audience. I appreciate the questions. They were all really good questions. And again, I just want to remind everyone as far as, the resources go. Melanie, you're very well versed already with our product, and I am more so happy to refresh you or anyone else out there, just looking for, some information or anything that you would like for us to basically just go over. We're here as a support group as well, so keep that in mind. I do have one last question, I believe. By whom and where is the MP200 encryption done?
Yeah, we utilize POS portal.
Okay, so all of that would be done through POS portal.
All right, great. One thing I just wanted to remind everybody is tomorrow's webinar with USAePay is going to be in regards to the new console. Bridget will be demoing the streamlined, updated version of the console. So I highly recommend everyone attend that to learn more about the new console. There's a lot of new features and products available. So I look forward to seeing the same audience attend tomorrow's call. And thanks, everyone, and have a great day.